And we're off again. Stick with us and see where we might end up today.
We left Keuka Lake this morning and are headed for Lake Luzerne over in the Adirondacks. And we're traveling through this beautiful Mennonite farmland.
Lots of dairy and lots of corn.
Yes, and some beautiful old stone barns that I've yet to be able to get a picture of.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Benson Road.
We've left the rolling farmlands of central New York for the heavily wooded Adirondacks of eastern New York.
This morning when we left camp, we put in our destination to Google Maps, and they kept trying to divert us to 90, the New York State Thruway, which I did not want to drive. I wanted to go back roads. So we've continually have had to say no to the suggestion of the route, which would have been at least an hour quicker to go the thruway, but I wanted to go these back roads, and there's no way we would have found these roads on the map. But they're awful twisty and turny. We had a bunch of great farm country, farm roads through Mennonite country and beautiful farmland, and now we've gotten into the southern Adirondacks and we're on the forested, twisty mountain roads that you certainly need to pay attention to driving on. But it's been great so far. It's taken us all day to go 200 miles, but it's the way we like to travel. So hopefully we'll be there. It says we'll be there in about 51 minutes, so that'll work.
Turn left onto North Main Street, then turn right onto Water Street.
Oldest 5 and dime in the U.S.
Wow.
This is our camp at Lake Luzerne in New York. It's a state park. In the trees, it was very quiet. We got in about supper time last night. Well, actually about 5 o'clock. And there were quite a few mosquitoes and deer fly around, so we put up the pop-up tent, screen room, the clam tent, which is super nice. But it was a quiet night in here. The campground is maybe only 10% occupied, this loop here. Anyway, it's a nice cool morning. About 60 degrees this morning, so the weather was perfect for sleeping. We'll see what we get into today. No power, water, or hookups at this site, although there are flushable toilets and showers in the campground. Heading north to explore today, and we find ourselves at the famous Fort Ticonderoga. the site of many, many battles in the early history of our nation. Well, the reason that Fort Ticonderoga was so strategic and why it was built here originally by the French with a different name,
Fort Carillon.
Fort Carillon, was because it sits on the shore where the St. Lawrence River coming down from Canada meets the Hudson River that controls the access to New York at Lake George. So Lake George is kind of the pincher point between the St. Lawrence Seaway in Canada and the Hudson River in the United States, or New York at the time. So it's very strategic importance. Battles were fought here beginning with the French and Indian War and through the American Revolution and the War of 1812. So a lot of battles were fought for possession of this one spot right here. Very interesting.
Right, right.
Well, what do you think of Fort Ticonderoga?
Oh, I think it's really cool. Very cool.
And we haven't really even been inside yet. And that, my friends, is what everybody was fighting for right there. And included in the grounds of the fort is the King's Garden. We thought we'd jump over here and take a look at all the pretty flowers. Okay, thoughts about Fort Ticonderoga?
Well, it's really cool. You know, I grew up hearing about Fort Ticonderoga and the French and Indian War and the Revolution, and so it was really cool to come over here and actually check it out.
It is the next day and we're moving camp to northern Vermont.
Look, everybody, cows!
That's a cool one.
Awesome.
And that, my friends, is Lake Carmi, or maybe it's pronounced Carmi, C-A-R-M-I. And we are at Lake Carmi State Park. We have a beautiful sight, and the trees cost us $28 a night, considering we were from out of state. I think you get a discount if you're local. This is a no power site. although there are nice restrooms, flush toilets, and showers. We are so close to Canada, maybe 3 miles, that our phone switched and said, "Welcome to Canada." And one of the highlights of the park, ice cream truck.
Have a good night.
Woohoo!
Okay, friends, thanks for watching. We're heading over the border into Quebec this morning, and we will have a new video for you shortly. Take care.